Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. Two patients in this compilation video. Now, this first patient here, lovely young man, came through feeling very blocked up in this particular ear canal. Now you can see here, we've got this really sort of almost layered wax. We've got sort of lots of striations and layers in this wax coming through, and that's because there's a lot of dry skin involved in this particular earwax plug as well. So it's come away from the canal walls and then laid down in layers, a bit like a sort of like strata where you look at sort of geological stuff. You can see these kind of layers coming through. It's very similar in this side, and you can see these long skin strips coming out from the center of this wax here. Now, the difficulty when you're dealing with this kind of layered wax, especially when the layers are upright, so that happens quite a lot where the sort of sides fold in from the sort of dead skin from the sides of the canal fold in together. When you've got them stood upright, when you take a layer away, it gradually reduces the sort of surface area, the front section of the wax there, and it becomes very difficult to get a really good suction grip. So what you tend to do is sort of pull these pieces away and then fold and then grab from the side, fold again, grab from the side. So you're always kind of taking these bits out layer by layer. Now what we can see here with the standard size Ulna 2, we've punched through that first section of dry skin. Now what we've got now is a slightly different consistency. Rather than being that little bit harder, don't forget, as the skin gets to the outer part of the ear canal, it does harden up a little bit, and that's why we've got those really hard sections at the front. But now we've got these much softer sections further back, so we've got a mixture of dry skin and then this much softer wax wrapping around it. So we're just pulling all these pieces away here. You can really see it all breaking down. And when we look at the ear canal, you can just to your left is on my right hand side, but to your left you'll see that sort of white layer there, and that's just old skin that hasn't been able to migrate away. Now that will start coming away from the canal walls. Now we've taken this blockage away, it can actually start migrating out the way it should do, and it's not unusual to find maybe an accumulation of some dead skin on the actual surface of the tympanic membrane, on the surface of the eardrum as well, because it just hasn't been able to migrate away. Don't forget that migration process starts in the center of the tympanic membrane and works its way out, and that's what forms the canal wall skin. So if you get this big blockages in there, and sometimes this skin peeling away from the canal wall, it's not unusual to get that build up there. But it's coming away really nicely. We can see we're really getting much deeper. You can really see where this poor kid didn't really have much hearing in this ear at all. He was so blocked up, bless him. Doing much better afterwards. A lot of you guys asked, sorry, I forgot to mention in the video yesterday, you asked sorry, I digress. You can see a little bit of skin there we're talking around the bottom. Now that white patch you can see at the top of the eardrum, that's a little bit of dead skin. Now it's right on the pars flaccida. Basically, I'm going to leave that there. The reason being, it's in the most flexible and thinnest part of the eardrum, that bit, and it just looks like soft dead skin. So I think that's going to migrate away quite nicely on its own there, and it would be really uncomfortable. Don't forget, this was actually a child we were doing this on, so it would be really uncomfortable. That's the last thing we need, is a flinch in that area when you're taking something off the eardrum in a child, which does happen quite a bit, and then we could cause some serious damage. So I'd rather let that migrate away on its own. But you can see eardrum much clearer, patient hearing so much better. So this is what we removed, so 3.5 centimeters, just under 1.5 inches. Right, what I was saying before I got distracted, a lot of you were asking about my patient in yesterday's video. I was really nervous, having lots of issues, some tinnitus, real hearing issues as well. When you take the wax away, yes, they were hearing so much better. Their tinnitus was reduced by quite a bit. Now, the tinnitus doesn't always disappear straight away when you take wax away. If wax is the cause of the tinnitus, sometimes it can take a day or two for that to settle down, but patient hearing much better. Thank you very much for asking. Now, this patient here, lovely gent, came all the way from Bristol to come and see us. And basically what we've got here is these sort of really chunky plugs in this ear canal. Patient uses silicone earplugs a lot, and that's just been pushy. You can see it's not Q-tip use, there's no dent in the front of that. So basically where the silicone plugs are going in, it's just pushing the wax back, but it's compacted it, sort of really impacted the wax together, so really formed this solid block. So I've got to use the Jobson horn here just because the suction tube wasn't going anywhere near it. But we've got the Jobson horn in here. But look how solid that is. You can see I've got a good grip on the top and I'm pulling quite hard there, but it's not actually going into the wax. You can see it's just skitting along the surface there. There we go, out that comes. That's a good size plug, that one. That was really, really plugging this patient's ear canal up. Patient been suffering a lot with hearing issues, especially after baths and showers as well. They were feeling really, really blocked up. But you can see a good size plug, that one. It came away really cleanly, in fairness. So we got a little bit of discoloration to the bottom of the ear canal. That's mostly where the patient's been using a little bit of olive oil. It's just softened the surface layer, and that's ended up on the skin of the ear canal. But there's the, that's what it looked like before. That's what it looks like afterwards. So vastly different ear canal on that side. Guys, don't forget, if you do enjoy these videos, you can always like, follow, share, subscribe, heart. Yes, I think that's all of them. If you don't mind, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. So we got the second ear canal here, same patient. So because the Jobson horn worked really well on the other side, I've gone straight in here with the Jobson horn. You can see not a lot of room. You can see just how hard this is in a second. We pull down. It's sort of crumbling away. It's not really coming away nicely. It's just more sort of breaking and just crumbling the surface of the wax away. So I'm switching it up now. We're going back in with the suction tube. The reason I'm doing that is I can feel the resistance with the Jobson horn, which means that this wax is still really solidly stuck to the canal wall. So we need to get this away from the canal wall first of all. And that's what we're doing here. We're just lifting from the bottom here. There we go. You can really see it starting to come away from the canal wall really, really well there. Let's give this a bit more of a lift. There we go. You can see that dry skin layer underneath it. That's what's anchoring everything into place. That's all I want to do here. Is ideally, if I can get this out with suction, great. I don't think that's going to be the case here because it's just so solidly in there. But if I can move it, so if you imagine we've got a solid wall like this and we're going to drop it like that, it leaves a gap at the top for us to get another tool in. In this case, it's St. Bart's hook, guys. You don't see this person. It's not this tool very often. We don't use it too often. Perfect here though, where you've got these really thick, long plugs, very little room to get above them. You can drop that St. Bart's hook in, especially if you create the gap, which is what we did with the suction. You can drop that St. Bart's hook over the top and it'll really pull that out nicely. So it's coming away really, really well. Just got a little tiny bit of dry skin at the top of the ear canal there. So we'll just get rid of those little bits. There we go, all getting sucked inside the fine end. There we are, we'll just tidy up that last little piece there. Yeah, it's not unusual to get these sort of dry pieces around the outside edge, but look at that eardrum beyond, guys. Absolutely spot on. That is looking lovely there. So there we go. So you can see very, very big difference in those ear canals there. So well, no, it's not, but 2.5 centimeters, just over 3/4 of an inch on that one, guys. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing over. Don't forget, we post new videos Monday through to Friday, 9 p.m. UK time. I haven't told you that in ages. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of your ears for me as well. And I'll see you for the next video. Bye, everyone.